Hello everybody, my name is Hanna Reichl and I'm a senior here at Biola, and the title of my presentation is called PR to PR, Public Relations to Personal Revelation. So what I will be going over today is just my journey at Biola and how I came here, choosing public relations as my major, my personal revelation that I had just about a few months ago, and then who I aspire to be from all of this going into the professional world. So my journey here at Biola. I actually came here as a film major. I wanted to get into the music industry. I had a huge passion for music and for serving people, and I wanted to serve bands and artists in a way that they don't normally get because they are often dehumanized and put on this pedestal. And so I wanted to have the relationship with these people that they don't tend to get. But I quickly realized with the film major that it was not for me, and I actually really did not like it. So I decided to go undeclared. I ended up choosing public relations for my major, and a lot of different things went into choosing it. I was kind of in this weird limbo state of feeling like I needed to choose a major, and I didn't like the control that I didn't have being undeclared. The people, I remember going into Dr. Kim's office for the first time ever and talking with her about the major, and her just really influencing me because she is so wonderful, like we all know. And then at the time, I thought the major was really broad. I didn't even know that it was an actual industry. I kind of thought it was like communications where you could go a lot of different ways, but now I know better. And then my first PR class, I took Intro to PR and I absolutely loved it. So I decided to choose PR for my major. Over the next few years, I really was not focusing on the major of PR itself. I was focusing on my internships because I was trying to go into the music industry. So, and you need experience for that. You don't really need a degree. It's kind of just who you know and the internships that you do have. But about a few months ago in February, I decided that I didn't want to get into the music industry, which was a huge deal for me because that's all I ever saw myself doing was working in music, and I really found out that I love PR and I wanted to work in an agency, and that was crazy for me because I'm graduating in just a few weeks from now. But a lot of different things went into this. I can't really pinpoint it, but I was talking to professionals in the field. I also didn't want to make music my career. I wanted to keep it separate and keep it my hobby that I could go to as like kind of an escape. Also, I was looking into jobs at the time and just realizing that I really loved everything we've been doing in our classes, but with this came a lot of panic because I was scared. I felt I was underqualified. I felt I wasted the last 4 years of my life focusing on music and wasting my time at these internships when I should have been doing PR internships. So it was a really scary point in my life, and I started to reflect on the past 4 years and trying to figure out, okay, like what skills do I have and what have I been equipped with? So I looked into my classes, classes like Intro to PR and PR Management, where we're making campaigns and implementing them and doing all of PR in one semester, basically. Writing for PR, where we create a portfolio of all these different types of writing that is going to be necessary in a PR professional world. And then SEO, I'm certified in Hootsuite and Google AdWords and Google Analytics, and every time I interview with someone and tell people I have these certifications, they're so impressed because it's in such high demand right now in the PR field. And then advanced campaign design and analysis, where we picked apart campaigns and we analyzed them and we looked at every single part about them. And I was really comparing these to the job requirement descriptions and seeing, hey, like I can do all these things that these jobs are requiring because of my classes, and I wouldn't be able to do them unless I took these classes. And then I looked at my internships, which was really scary for me to do because they were all in the music industry. So my first internship with Vicious Buzz, it's the middle bottom logo right there. It's a music creative agency in Pomona, and with that, for me, it was just a huge stepping stone. A lot of spreadsheets and a lot of the normal things in a creative agency, but for me, it got me the experience that was needed to get the rest of my internships, and it put something on my resume to kind of get me started. So the internship I had after that was with Stash Media, which is a music marketing agency. And with that, I was field marketing, and I was working remotely, so I needed a lot of time management and a lot of drive. But the biggest thing I learned from that was how to build relationships and maintain these relationships, which is the essence of PR itself. And then Motor Mouth Media, I am so thankful I had that internship because that was a huge blessing from God because it was actually music publicity. So I was writing press releases, doing press pitches, writing tour reports, I was working events. I gained so much skill set from this one specific internship that I can have on my resume and I can show employers I can do all of these things. And then my last internship was with Warner Chappell. Nothing to do with PR itself. It was A&R for a publishing company, which is basically talent scouting. But in this internship, I learned how to be a detail-oriented person, and I never was before. And that's a huge skill to have, especially in PR. And then with the Point magazine and Shotgun magazine, I was social media coordinators, which is a huge part of PR. But Shotgun itself, I'm really proud of because with that, it was a one-time publication. So I was building the brand from the ground up, and I was curating all this content. Actually got to help with the design of it, and I was there from the beginning. So that is a huge accomplishment for me. And from all this, I wanted to, since I was reflecting on the past, I wanted to reflect on the future and what, after I graduate in a few weeks, what all of this is going to look like and who I aspire to be from all of it. I wanted to look at a campaign and find a campaign that I could base my essence of my PR professional life off of. And I looked at things like Dove's Real Beauty and Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign, and these are all really inspiring campaigns. But one stood out in particular, and I wish I could tell you it's going to change your life and be really inspiring for you, but it's not. Actually, the sound is not working, but I can tell you what he says. This is it. Oh, it worked. Sick. Awesome. So that's the ad. Just some background on it. It was for the Super Bowl in 2009 when commercials for 30 seconds ran for about $3 million, and Miller Coors wanted to run a campaign in the Super Bowl, but they only had a budget of about a little over $100,000. So not much you can do. But they got creative, and they showed this, not even across the entire country. It was only in a certain number of states, but it ended up being the highlight of the 2009 Super Bowl, and everyone was talking about it. And the reason I love this campaign so much is because it was so well thought out. Before this, they were running social media content. They launched the campaign with USA Today. They coordinated interviews. They were getting all this free publicity that really built them up for the launch of this 1-second commercial that kind of just blew people away because they didn't know what to expect. And I love the creativity that comes from it. And it's something for me that I can look back at and get inspired by because I know that I don't need all the money in the world or all the resources to make a huge impact on people. And it inspires me to look at things from a different angle. And their team did such an incredible job just even coming up with this 1-second commercial, and I'm really inspired by that. So in addition to wanting to be a creative PR professional, I also aspire to be a PR professional centered around Christ. Like I said previously, I want to serve, and as Christians, we're called to be like Jesus, and Jesus was a server, and that's also something I want to base my life around. These are just 2 verses I found that show that Jesus was a server. Mark 10:45 says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." And then Philippians 2:5-7 says, "Have this in mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men." So these are just 2 verses I really want to shape my personal and professional life after. In PR, I'm going to be serving people, and that's another reason why I love it. I was able to switch from music to PR and know that I was still serving publics and an organization. And I know that I'll be serving people that aren't going to be the easiest people to serve, but I'm going to do this with a happy and humble heart because I know that Jesus, who is the Son of God, came down and served people who he is obviously better and greater than. So like I said, these are just 2 verses I want to shape my life around. Another verse I have for you, it's just something that is related specifically to the situation I'm in graduating. It's John 16:33. And it says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Going into this professional lifestyle, coming out of the educational world is a really, really scary stepping stone. And I don't really know what to expect, and especially since it's only 3 weeks away. It's just a really scary time right now, but knowing that Jesus has overcome the world and God reigns over everything is really just a very encouraging thing for me to know and to keep in my heart. And hopefully for all of you that are graduating, it's a verse that you can go back to and think about it as well and be encouraged by this. So with all that said, it has been super crazy the past 4 years of my life, being shaken and realizing just a few months ago that I love my major and I'm so happy I have chose it and that God directed me here, and I'm so thankful for all my professors who have helped me, and for Dr. Kim, of course, who really encouraged me to choose PR as a major. It's been a scary road, but having this personal revelation before graduation is I'm really thankful for that I figured this out before I graduated. But knowing Jesus has overcome is just the biggest encouragement of all. So thank you. This concludes my presentation, and I would love to open up the floor to any questions you might have.